So the year is 2016, it's August 14th, and the Overwatch Zenyatta / Lucio meta has been running rampant for months. And by months, I mean just a few weeks. But anyways, it's been going on, and what has this led to? Well, it's led to Mercy not really getting that much of a play rate, and of course competitive, and ranked, and of course in the esports scene, and even in quick play, she's really not gotten that much play time. But, you know, luckily, our Lord, Savior, Jeff Kaplan has come in and said, we're going to give Mercy a few of those buffs and make her a good character again. Now, of course, why isn't she that great of a character? She didn't really get nerfed that bad. She's pretty much just as good as she was on release. Well, why isn't she that great right now? Well, it just comes down to the fact that Zenyatta was hugely buffed. Zenyatta, of course, extra 50 shield, super good, counters a lot of the assassins, and as well with that, his orbs became way better, and overall, he just became a super good partner with Lucio. Zenyatta / Lucio together right now are probably the best support duo you could really ever go with. Now, previously it was, of course, Lucio / Mercy. Lucio's just always been a problem, but, you know, it's Lucio / Mercy, but now it's Zenyatta / Lucio, and Mercy's just kind of been put to the side. Those two are in the majority of competitive teams, the majority of play time, and even when you're playing quick play, you'll be seeing a lot of Lucio and a lot of Zenyatta together, taking out teams, doing a lot of damage, and just completely wrecking the enemy teams overall. They just do a ton. And the problem about this is that, of course, Zenyatta, he does extra damage. When you're playing someone like Mercy, you don't get that extra damage. Mercy doesn't really do way too much damage on herself, but Zenyatta, you know, gives that healing over time heal on one of his teammates. Of course, Lucio is also healing all of his teammates at the same time, and overall, those two, they just work really well together. And Mercy, of course, she's just been kind of put to the side. That's really all I can say about this. And of course, they did try to fix this for a little bit. They tried to, you know, to give Mercy a little bit of extra damage. They made her right click go up to 50%, but overall, that was just completely broken. They nerfed it right back down to 30%. And now Mercy just kind of sitting in a spot where she's good, but she's not good enough to really pick. It's kind of an awkward spot because Zenyatta and Lucio are so good, so strong together, that there's not really much of a reason to pick Mercy right now over just picking Zenyatta and Lucio, which is of course a problem. You want to be able to pick all your supports, but right now, it's kind of just, why not pick Zenyatta and Lucio? Zenyatta and Lucio, they do more damage, they have a decent amount of healing together, their ultimates work a lot better together than a Mercy ultimate, and overall, they're just very strong characters, and Mercy's just a decent character, so it just kind of puts Mercy over to the wayside. But luckily, we have been getting some information from Jeff Kaplan that we are going to be getting a few buffs from Mercy in the future. And this is something that I've been really hoping for. Mercy has been a decent character. I've been playing her quite a bit. She's pretty much the support that I like to play the most. I really love her damage boost. I feel like that's a really cool ability. And of course, her healing, very fine itself. And her ultimate, just a game changer, especially when you're playing coin flip. You can revive your whole team of 5 and go in for the win. But she's just kind of a bit inconsistent with that. And overall, she's just not as good as she could be. But we have been getting some information, you know, that she is going to be getting a buff in the future. And what is this buff going to be? Well, I can't really tell you exactly. On this forum post, Jeff does not say exactly what they're going to be doing, but I can tell you what Jeff did say about this, and I can tell you kind of what I want myself out of the Mercy buff in the future, and kind of what I'm hoping to see. Now, just talking about this, I'm not really also hoping for a huge Lucio nerf or for a huge Zenyatta nerf. I really love where Zenyatta is right now. He feels very good, very crisp, I'd say that's just the word to put, and just very, very delicious to play. I don't even know what to say. Zenyatta just feels really good, and of course Lucio's always been a fun character and always been a good character and probably will continue to always be that type of character. But yeah, they just kind of need to buff the other supports, I feel, to match their strength, and then maybe you can play every support. I don't know, we're gonna have to wait for that. But yeah, it's just saying that before anything else, I don't want to nerf the other support characters. I just want to kind of buff some of the other ones. I want to buff Mercy, maybe get a bit of a buff to Anna in the future. I don't really know, maybe. But yeah, let's talk about Mercy. So with Mercy in this brand new forum post by Jeff, he says, I've been looking into Mercy for some time, and I'm not going to read this all, but I'll just kind of paraphrase it. But he says, I've been looking at Mercy for some time, looked in the PTR, and you can see that she was a bit too broken, and this was of course talking about when her right click gave an extra 50% damage increase instead of 30. That was a bit too broken. They reverted that. But yeah, he's talking about that part of the time. He said that he'd love to give her that damage increase to make her damage increase actually very strong, but it just was too powerful as an alternate fire, and there's just too many cases that it would just pop up and kind of just ruin the game, so yeah, they had to get rid of that. Anyways, though, he also says that he does have a lot of other ideas for the character, for Mercy, of course, that they may try to implement in the future, and a few, at least one that he mentions here, that they have tried in the past that they didn't exactly go with, but that they may go with it in the future. It's a similar type of ability. So what he says is that they were trying to give Mercy a new ability, a E ability, that would make so that she gives a slow heal on everyone around you, that you heal. So essentially, let's say that there's a Reinhardt, you heal him for a second, and then you switch to another person, heal him for a second, switch to another person, heal him for a second, and they're all going to get a small heal when you're even not healing the character. So that's essentially what I was thinking about for the E. You know, toss around who you're healing, just go around, heal different characters. That sounds like a pretty good idea. Would of course buff the character. I would make so that, you know, you have to go around to more people and heal more often and just jump around a lot more. But he figured out, I don't really like the design exactly, and it was of course having some issues. So instead of doing that, they decided, well, we're just going to change some other stuff in the future. Of course, that was just one ability idea they had. I'm sure that they've had many other ability ideas, but overall, it does seem like they are going to at least change something about her. Now, what it says later on as well is that she doesn't really need a new ability either. So, that ability, or an ability similar, she doesn't really need. She already, of course, does have a lot of stuff that she can do, and when you are in the thick of combat, and you have to decide whether to use your beam for damage or use it to heal. Right now, though, I feel personally that the damage beam really isn't that useful. I don't really use it way too much myself, and the healing beam feels a little bit better, but maybe that's just me. Anyways, he goes on to say that, you know, you gotta position yourself well, very good character, you know, you can fly around the field, but she does just feel a little bit weak. And finally, after all of this stuff, he says that maybe if he was to actually give Mercy an ability, it would probably not really be an ability that she'd use way too often, and it would just be more of a outside of combat ability or something like that that's not really used way too often. My own personal idea is that maybe when you press E as Mercy, you know, it makes so there's an aura around you, and your teammates can click on you somehow and then fly to you for like maybe 1 or 2 seconds. So you can give your teammates a bit of a speed boost back to the point or onto somewhere that they normally couldn't get onto. I feel like that would be pretty cool myself. I mean, just kind of think about it, it would be like your teams are flying to your own guardian angel. I mean, you do have the ability to call guardian angel, but it'd be kind of cool if you saw your teammates flying to you instead of you flying to your teammates. And of course, I'd want this to have like a 30-second cooldown or something long, but this probably isn't even going to show up. But what will probably show up? Well, I'm guessing that we're probably just going to be getting a few minor things. The first thing, maybe they could give her a bit more health. Probably not going to happen. Other than that, of course, they could easily just buff the amount of heal that she does per second with her healing rod. So, you know, you just heal more damage. Extra heal buff, of course that's fine. A lot of people would like that. Of course they could also just make so that a right click damage buff goes up to like 40% or something like that, but that does seem a bit unbalanced as that didn't work before. But you never really know. Maybe it'd work this time. Maybe if they just try it with different values. Who really knows? And of course the final thing that I'm thinking that they may do is actually make so that her self-heal or her passive activates quicker and heals more damage faster. So let's say that, you know, normally, you know, you have to wait a few seconds for your passive to start going, to start healing yourself. They can make so that it only takes like 1 or 2 seconds maximum, and they could of course make so that it heals like twice as much health per second. Now what would this do? Well, it would make so that assassins really can't kill you nearly as fast. It would be a lot harder for people to just get you in general, and make you more of a slippery type of support that, you know, flies between your teammates, heals up pretty quickly, and then goes to healing your teammates, while Zenyatta is more of a person that kind of just goes to kill the enemy teammates, and while Lucio could kind of be a mixture of the two. And that'd be kind of cool, you know, make Mercy into more of a slippery character than what she is right now, which is someone that has a self-heal after she gets out of battle completely. If she had a self-heal that kind of worked in battle or between battle really fast, I feel like that would work a lot better for the character and would probably make her a much better character, at least where she is right now, especially since the meta right now is pretty offensive. It would be nice if she healed a lot faster. And those are my general ideas for what I could say would happen to Mercy. Of course, the Overwatch team probably is going to come up with some really great ideas. They've always been coming up with good ideas in the past, and they could change something that none of us are really thinking about. But as far as what I'm hoping for, those are probably the main things. Really, that passive buff would be kind of cool, or just simply more healing over time. That's probably the most simple thing, and probably the thing that we're going to end up getting, but we're going to have to wait and see with all of this. Anyways, tell me what you guys want from all this. I know Mercy's been a character that the majority of people seem to like quite a bit. I like it quite a bit, and hopefully we can get some really nice buffs out of this. Hopefully the character can, of course, become maybe not as strong as she was, maybe not as dominant as she was, as that was a little bit annoying how you pretty much always saw Mercy, but hopefully she can become at a level where she's about as good as Zenyatta, about as good as Lucio, and where all of them can play together, and of course, add Ana into the mix, and that'll be fun. We've had more supports, have more variety, and overall have more characters that we can pick and more characters that we can have fun with, and that's the majority of the reason to even play Overwatch, is to just have fun. So, yeah, just hopefully these upcoming buffs are very nice, and do just treat the character very well. Anyways, though, guys, that's all I have to say about this. Tell me your own opinions about this in the comment section below. Tell me if you like Mercy, if you hate Mercy, if you want her buffed, if you even want her more nerfed so you never see that character again, or how you would like her buffed in the future. With all that said, though, thank you all for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and as always, have a wonderful day.